Mike Callahan had a quick question submitted. What is an industry benchmark for a landscape maintenance company? How much revenue are you supposed to generate on average per person on a maintenance crew? And what is the better setup, a one-person, two-person, or three-person crew? Specifically, this gentleman wanted to know, should he run a two-person crew or a three-person crew? So the first thing is industry benchmark is around $60,000 per employee. So if you had a two-man crew, industry benchmark would be 60 plus 60, 60,000 for each person. That crew should average $120,000 of revenue on average annually. So another industry benchmark, if you're looking for installation crews and hardscaping crews or irrigation techs, that industry benchmark is around $100,000 per individual on a crew. But maintenance was the question, and that is $60,000 per individual in total generated revenue for the entire season. In our lawn care company, we shoot between $70,000 and $72,000 in annual generated revenue per crew member. So industry benchmark is a good place to start, but after you look at your overhead recovery and your setup in the seasonality, you may have to be getting more than an industry benchmark, or maybe even a little less. Second thing is a two-person crew or a three-person crew better? Absolutely, in my mind, without a doubt, a two-person crew is 100% better than a three-person crew. First reason, that extra third person is eating a lot of idle drive time. So if you're breaking even at $30 per man hour, that's what it costs for you to operate, and you had 2 hours of drive time per day, that third person is eating up in one given week, 5 days a week, an extra $300 of overhead expense. Multiply that out by 52 weeks. That's a lot of overhead. It's about $15,600, I believe, round math in my head. So $15,600 around there in non-billable overhead. So it costs you an extra $15,000, almost $16,000 a year to have that third person running on that truck. The second thing is I would rather see you have two people with licenses, a crew member and a crew leader. So that crew leader is training up their technician, and when you hit that volume, that person is going to be that technician that you're paying a little bit extra with a license is going to be able to jump on a new crew and start fresh without having to retrain a whole entire new crew. So this is, as you're going out constantly recruiting, this is going to allow you to build a better bench within that crew, and you're not going to have to go out and reinvent the wheel for a whole crew. You only have to reinvent the technician now on the next crew that goes out. So I'm thinking a two-man crew is always the way to go, or a one-person crew, never a three-person crew. Way too much overhead unless they're sitting all day at a commercial property and that's the only place they go. And industry benchmark for landscape maintenance, $60,000 per season annual revenue. Install and irrigation is about $100,000 general revenue for industry benchmark. I try to strive to be higher than the industry benchmark and make a little bit more than the average. But if you're looking to be average and have a baseline, $60,000, and I would stick with a two-person crew. Second person on the crew, have them have a license if possible, and have them being trained to run your next crew. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below.